What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Dylan Talks Tone. Today we're going to do something kind of fun. We're going to take the Epiphone Les Paul that we did the unboxing on. We did a Gibson versus Epiphone sort of video on that thing, comparing those two. And we're going to do some upgrades to it today, and we're going to make it into kind of our version of a Greeny Les Paul, even though it's red. But it's going to be a Greeny Les Paul when we're done. We're going to talk about what that takes to do that, and a bunch of other little kind of cool upgrades and things that the person who owns this guitar actually requested. Speaking of that, I want to thank my Patreon supporters and my YouTube member supporters, the ones that hit the little join button down there, and Patreon supporters. They're the ones that make videos like this possible. We don't really have a lot of channel sponsors or anything like that, so you are all the ones that make reviews and various things like that possible. So thank you so much. I also want to say the video, I guess, is kind of sponsored by Dylan Talks Tone. So go to dylantalkstone.com, check out our pickups and such, which we'll get into here in a minute. But this particular guitar actually belongs to one of our Patreon supporters. And he hit me up a little while ago and he's like, I want an Epiphone Les Paul, but I want to do it Greeny style. Which basically means that we've got this out of phase set up on the pickups. So we're going to talk about how we got to that in a few minutes. But we did a bunch of other little things to this guitar that he requested. So it was a fantastic guitar to begin with. I mean, these things are great. Go buy one. They're really good. If you can't or don't want to spend the money on a Gibson Les Paul, this one is the next best thing. It is very, very good. It's just a great guitar. It plays great. Now this one went through the Sweetwater setup deal, and they did a great job. They put 8s on it, and it plays great. It feels great, and now it really sounds great. And then we're going to talk about a couple other not sound related, but just usability related things that we did to the instrument. So first of all, not all, but a large portion of import guitars from Asia have tuners that are less than awesome. And so the owner of this guitar said, can you please swap these out for the Graphtec ratio tuners? And these things are really good. So here's what we had to start with. We had to take the old ones off, and then we actually had to put we didn't have to, but we wanted to put the little adapter plates on the back of the peg head first. So then, it costs like $10 or something. So then when you put these ratio tuners on, they kind of look factory. You know, it kind of looks nice. It's got the base plate underneath there. There's no exposed holes. And so it looks more factory than if you were to just swap the tuners out, which is, I really like that kind of addition to it. Now, what are the ratio tuners? When we have the thicker string versus the thinner string, basically, it changes when you move the tuner this much, how much the string moves. And so these tuners have different gear ratios in them based on where they go. So the low E versus the high E and everywhere in between are specific spots to match the gear ratio to the string gauge. Now, not to the string, but the difference between them, so that they're all kind of more even as you tune them. You know, you don't move this one 100% bunch of distance, and then this one only a little bit. They're kind of all more even, which is really cool. On the other end of the guitar, hardware-wise, we swapped out the cheap and very heavy tailpiece, as well as the bridge that came on the Epiphone guitar for Graphtec pieces. Now, this particular one has graphite saddles in it, and we have all the adjustability that you want. I will tell you that the part numbers, and we'll leave links to all this in the description if you want to upgrade this stuff on your Epiphone. we were able to actually just drop this right on. I did have to change out the screw posts, but they threaded right in. There was no problem. They threaded right into the guitar. So what I mean is, I did not have to pull any bushings out of the wood. We just had to replace the screws, and it worked awesome. And it set up very, very well. It intonated perfectly. And of course, with 8s on it, it's easier because the strings are thinner and it doesn't have to move as much. But they were great. Absolutely fantastic. This is a really, really nice setup. I think they sound great. And they're very high quality pieces as well. We'll leave a link to those down below. Then going back to front in the guitar, we went ahead and replaced the very cheap and sort of iffy Epiphone input or output jack for one of our Puretone jacks that we use on our builds. When you order Telecaster wiring or Stratocaster drop-in control, drop-in pickguards, we usually include the Puretone jacks. I really like those. And so we go ahead and replace that here. It worked really, really well. I tried it with a few different cables just to make sure that everything was good. And yeah, it works awesome. I should say we did not replace the pots in the guitar. I didn't want to get into changing the diameters of the holes, changing the knobs, changing the diameters of the little pointers here. And the pots that come in the guitar are actually really good. They are 500K CTS pots. And then they're probably like a Chinese version of, but they're fine. They're the little mustard caps, like mullards, and they sound great. They look great. They seem fine. So I didn't see any reason to replace that stuff. I felt that the quality of the stuff in there was really good without molesting the guitar any more than we had to, because I didn't want to drill out holes in somebody else's guitar. We didn't want to have to start all over with all that stuff. So in the latest Epiphones, this stuff is actually pretty good. Now, you could replace it if you wanted to, but I wouldn't. I would just leave it. I guess that moves us on to the Greeny section of this video. So the whole Greeny thing was based on the 59, I believe, Les Paul that originally belonged to, or was most famously known for being owned by Peter Greeny. And the legend has it that somehow, and I'm not going to get into how, you can Google it, but basically one of the pickups was out of phase. The neck pickup was actually out of phase with the bridge pickup. So what does that mean? First of all, we want to basically kill a rumor right now. When you see the Greeny Les Paul, you'll see that the pickup is actually backwards in the guitar with the screws on this side. There's no reason for that. I believe that the reason they do that is because they want people to know that that the pickup is out of phase, that it's different than a normal one. That is not how a pickup is out of phase, and there is no reason for that guitar to be, or that pickup to be upside down, and I think it looks stupid. So that's why we didn't do it in this guitar. It looks nice, okay? So we've got our neck pickup here and our bridge pickup here, but they are out of phase in the middle position, and it gives you kind of this cool nasally sound, and especially with more overdrive, I think it sounds really, really good. All right, so let's discuss humbucker phasing. If you spin the pickup around like this, it does nothing, okay? So that's not how you do it. Basically, the way the Greeny Les Paul was done is basically, so the way a humbucker magnet goes into the pickup is like this. It slides, it actually fits kind of like this, but only on the bottom. So basically it would slide in underneath these bobbins right here, like that, okay? And on the magnet, on the pickup, or on the magnet, I should say, the magnet is actually magnetized on the edges here, not on the top. So the poles of the magnet are here and here on the edges, okay? So what that means is we would have north on one side and we would have south on the other side, okay? So typically the way this would work is the south would be towards the screws and the north would be toward the slugs. And so it would slide into the pickup this way. So basically the way you would make a Greeny pickup is you would actually pull it out and then you would just flip the magnet over. So now you have south on the slug side and you have north on the screw side. You would slide it back in and now the magnetic polarity of the pickup would be backwards in one pickup. You would leave the wiring the same, but you would have only changed the magnetic polarity in the pickup. Then when you put it in the guitar, you get that sweet middle position sound that's got that kind of honky phase canceled sound that is called out of phase. So you could actually do this with your own guitar if you had the tools and the little bit of knowledge that it took to take things apart, flip that one magnet over, stick it back in there, and go. The only caution I would give you, not having the pickup actually made this way, is once you pull the pickup apart and put it back together, there could be some looseness to the parts in there, which means that you might have some noise, like when you tap on the guitar, it could be a little bit noisier and, well, kind of clunky, as well as when you play it loudly, then you might have some squealing and some feedback and stuff. So that's kind of the thing. If you want Greeny style pickups, we can do it. All you have to do is give me, put a note on your order when you order a set of DAFs that you want them Greeny style, and we will do it. And we'll flip the phase in one of the pickups, and then we'll wax pot them that way, and they'll come out properly, and they won't feedback, and they won't do all that crazy stuff. This thing is really cool. It's super fun. To tell you the truth, I did all the work first, shot all those little pieces of video and all that, and then just turned on the camera and just played it for like an hour and a half this morning. And I just really have been enjoying it. It's really a cool guitar. We also took the pickguard off because, you know, that's what really makes the guitar cool, is not having a pickguard. Did I just make some enemies? I don't know. Anyway, this thing is fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and ship it out to the owner of this guitar this afternoon. And I think that it came out very, very well. So we created our own Greeny Les Paul. I'll leave links to everything in the description below. And so you could try the pickups, you could try the output jack, you could try the bridge. These tuners are really cool. Even if you don't do any of the other stuff and you have problems or don't like the tuners on your Epiphone, these are really, really nice. I really like them a lot. So there you go. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next video.